Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing? Excellent. I'm Ranger Karen. I'm with the New Orleans Jazz National Historical Park. We are the only national park in the country dedicated to an individual art form, and that is jazz music that was born here in New Orleans. It was born in the early 1900s, and it continues to live on and evolve as a living art form. And so today we're very excited to bring you, in partnership with the New Orleans Jazz Museum in this beautiful space, a young musician, a jazz piano player who plays around town in a number of bands. I'd like to welcome Shout Young.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Hi. I am excited to play for you guys today. I've been watching this piano hour for a good bit. They do this sort of weekly Thursday thing, bring in some incredible pianists, and I'm humbled to be with you people today. To start off, I have a friend of mine named Rocky Leonard. We wrote a song together called Holding On, kind of a somber, little jazzy piece. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. This next song is another song I wrote with my friend Rocky. She has a tendency to write the most beautiful and heartbreaking love songs. And me being a jazz pianist, I think, well, what better way to complement that than with beautiful and heartbreaking chords? So I thought we could put our minds together and create this one song called I Love You. Thank you. So in writing with my friend Rocky, those are the last Rocky songs, I swear. No, but in writing with her, it showed me how much I loved to collaborate. I love to, you know, I love to play around and play with different people, and getting those different musical experiences, especially in the city, is an invaluable experience, something that I urge every musician, every artist to try and look for whenever they're trying to just be surrounded by what it is they're passionate about. I'm curious if anyone has any questions regarding that kind of lifestyle, that way of thinking. How did you know? No, no. That's a really good question because a lot of people who think like me and who act like I do are, you know, this way of collaborating and going around and, you know, just doing it for the love of music doesn't always get you the things that you need in order to continue doing what you do for the love of music. It's something that I think that this foundation of this program does wonderfully. They support their local musicians, and I get to continue doing what I love, and you get to continue listening to the people who love what they do. So I believe that, well, to answer your question, yeah, but I can certainly say that that's not something that is a consistent thing down the road if we continue on, you know, doing what it is that these people do and what it is that you do, supporting those that might be the less fortunate. Ooh, that is a really, really good question. A hard one, really good one. I'll play a quick one really quick. So that's like the jazziest thing any jazz person could ever do, but I like it a lot. I hope that answers your question. It's a whole slew of chords that sometimes make sense.
I have a question.
Of course.
Suggest young musicians to um, progress to inspire. What do you what would you have for them to inspire? Because I have a son who is in music, and if you can give him a suggestion.
Of course. Well, the first thing I like to tell, not just any upcoming musician, but my friends, first and foremost, is just to listen to the things that you love. Being surrounded by the things that you know you want to do will immediately help you get better. You don't even have to touch a piano, but if you listen to all the pianists that make you feel like you want to touch a piano every time you see one, I feel like that's the first step. That's always the first step. Every artist seems to have a favorite artist because they surrounded themselves, they just drowned in their art. And I believe that every artist, every musician should do the same. Just remind yourself that you love it first. The techniques and, you know, the standards, all the whatever you need to know to become, you know, world class, whatever, will come later. But as long as your foundation is strong, that your love for it is the key, and you remind yourself every time, every performance, I believe that is not only the best that you could do, it's essential. And so I'd say that. Sure, I'll take one more and I'll head to another song.
It's kind of a wild card question. But,
Sure.
I'm in New Orleans for the first time. I'm seeing all the different color harmonies in the homes.
Yeah, welcome.
Like 8 different tones of yellow and greens and sins.
Yeah.
And I also play a little piano, and I start, like, sometimes in the early morning, I feel like there must be some equivalency between sound, the tonality of sound, and the tonality of light.
Wow, yeah.
Whether it's during composition, implying with position, vibration, ratios. Have you ever
Yeah. I love the way your brain works. Um, that's a really, really good question. Um, that inspired me. Um, I want to say that I have, maybe subconsciously, because it's hard not to be surrounded by this environment and immediately be inspired by something as, it could be something as simple as just the colors of houses down the neighborhood. I'm very sure that maybe amongst one of my pieces, one of my compositions, that it was influenced by a area that I just seem to be engulfed in. I tend to have a very wide array of musical likeness. I like too much stuff. You can tell me like a random band, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I've heard it. Or I'll be like, oh, I haven't heard them, but I'm gonna put them in a playlist like right now. Like people always get like, oh, I like everything but country. It's like, no, I like country too. There's some cool stuff in there. No, but everything reminds me of music. In this city, there's more things that remind me of music than in other cities. That's why I've been here for a bit. I'm originally from Houston, but I've been living here for the past 7 years, and I can't find a better place to want to do what I do. It's and for reasons that you listed, for just the little intricacies, the nuances throughout this entire city, just subconsciously feed into what inspires me to make the pieces that I make. So absolutely. This next piece I wrote a few years ago. I remember I went to Loyola University, and they have this piano in one of the student center grand halls, and I would always be the guy who would ask the student, desk helper, whatever, like, hey, can I get the key to the piano? Because I just want to play on it. And they reluctantly would say yes. I'd be the regular, and I would, play around, and I came up with this little cool piece while I was there. So this one is it's called Wait. Thank you. I'm gonna stray away from the original compositions for a little bit and play a decently known Miles Davis tune titled Nardis. I think it's one of the first jazz piano pieces, like standards, that I looked at carefully and thought, I don't think my, jazz teacher would be mad that I played this for a recital. And lo and behold, he wasn't, and I got a B+. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's hard in these streets. All right. Thank you. I'll take a few more questions if anybody has any.
Well, how did you learn that? I mean, you have to just keep listening to it over and over and over.
Well, the technique does have to come with it. So I'm self-taught. I had a piano teacher up until the age of 8, and back to the being poor thing. We didn't have enough money to afford another pianist, like another piano teacher. So but what was great is that I play trombone as well. So throughout all of grade school, I played trombone. But in every band class, they have a piano. And so I'd be the annoying kid on the piano playing Heart and Soul, and amongst other things. I did it because I loved it. I did it because no one else had to force me to play it after the age of 8. My mom was even just like, all right, well, I guess we're just gonna move on to trombone now. It's an interesting age we're living in right now where you can learn everything that you need to learn about piano, and you can practice it at home just because of the information on the internet. And a lot of that is what helped me kind of get to the playing that I like, my style of playing and everything. So, I know it didn't used to be like that, but, me growing up, it was how everybody did everything. Everybody knew. I mean, kids weren't really learning math from their teachers. They were learning off of, like YouTube videos so that they could, pass their tests. And I decided, okay, well, I'm sure there's some piano videos on how to play 1,000 Miles, and I'll just learn how to do that. And over the years, I kept wanting to challenge myself and think, oh, well, doing, the whole, like, that whole thing is fine. But like, what about, because I heard this Miles Davis tune, and I know a trumpet player was playing it. What if I played the piano part? And then, of course, I learned that whole thing. But I wouldn't have thought to go the next level if I wasn't already listening to the guy. If I didn't know, that Miles Davis existed, if I didn't know that the song existed, I probably would have kept playing 1,000 Miles. But I have to give credit to my parents. They were the ones who allowed me to have an MP3 player and a laptop, and I decided I'm just gonna go sleuthing for music. Anybody that has a cool song, I YouTube to MP3, download it to my little MP3 player, and I would listen to it throughout all of middle and high school. So I have a whole wide catalog of songs in my head. It can get you pretty far, especially us gigging around in this city. Lots of different styles of music are here, but if you want to dip your toes in some things that might be cool, you need to know how it sounds. You can't do that if you don't listen. Yeah.
Who's your favorite artist outside of jazz?
Oh God, you guys are giving me really hard questions. I like too much music.
Who are you listening to the most right now?
Right now, let's see. For the longest time, Snarky Puppy has been a good. They're phenomenal. Every single one of them are phenomenal musicians, and it's crazy that they brought them all together just to form this one like super band. The arranger is the bass player, and I think that was the first time I ever thought critically about a musician rather than a singer who was like really orchestrating the entirety of the band. Like everybody could hold their own, but this one bass player who was phenomenal at bass as well is like writing parts out for all these other guys, and he doesn't. I mean, I'm sure he plays a little piano and a little drums and a little guitar, but he writes it like he's fluent in these languages, and so I thought that was really cool. I'm very in that mindset right now. I love to arrange and compose, and so think about songs as like calling my songs pieces and compositions, and I feel like Snarky Puppy is my go-to whenever I think about that kind of thinking, especially in terms of jazz, and so. That's where my head's at right now. I think a little while ago I was listening to Deadmau5 and Zed, some EDM people for the younger crowd. So, Bill Evans has always been on my list, whether I liked it or not. That guy has followed me around. Bill Evans has, I can still think about him through like composition work. I mean, his compositions, especially later on when he worked with he had an album with an orchestra, one of my favorite albums of all time for sure, when he did this album with, god dang it, I can't remember the orchestra's name, but it's a nice orange tinted album cover. Beautiful compositions. His playing is always phenomenal, and if I ever come across somebody else who says they listen to Bill Evans, I shiver because that is a guy, if you listen to it hard enough, I think you can get where I'm going. Like, you're basically there. Like, he's the guy. He is the jazz piano player. And so, at least in my eyes, like, if you want to do jazz piano, Bill Evans is the guy. So, anybody tells you they listen to Bill Evans, just run the opposite direction. It's not worth it.
What has New Orleans schools have for you while you're here in New Orleans instead of where you're from Houston?
Of course. Well, for one, Houston is really big, but not as dense. It has a lot to offer because it has a lot of space to offer things. But just because something's like, you have a lot of space doesn't mean that, that space is, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's enough for what you're looking for. I feel like Houston right now, because, I went to if you guys know about NOCA here in New Orleans, there's an equivalent kind of school in Houston called HSPVA, the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. I went there, which is also kind of bragging rights, humble brag. Beyonce went to that school too. And so they have a cool, it's a cool thing. I'm no Beyonce, but the curriculum is really cool. But that, I think, is like one of the only places, at least to me as a young musician, that I can go to that I can feel like I can, cultivate the music that I want to. I don't think there's like the bars don't do what they do here, people don't sit in that much in Houston. I come here for college, and immediately I'm seeing flyers. I'm hearing people tell me, "Hey, you got to come out to this bar. You got to come sit in for these guys. There's this thing this Friday," and I'm like, I get overwhelmed because there's so much opportunity in such a small, compacted space. But it's so dense. There's so much here, and I haven't explored it all. I can take the streetcar to one side of the city to the other. I can take a bike and do that, and I still haven't seen everything. I know I've only been here for 7 years, and I'm pretty sure people who have been here for 50 can say the exact same. And so I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm definitely staying here for a good bit. It's just too much here not to explore.
What do you think of
Professor
Professor Longhair?
Longhair. I think he's awesome. I know a lot of cool New Orleans pianists in the city who have put me on to Professor Longhair. I'm surprised and not surprised that I haven't heard about him until I came here, because that's like criteria. It's like if you don't know about Professor Longhair being a pianist in this city, what are you doing? You must be a tourist. No, he's great. I need to practice more of his stuff, for sure. I think that's another pianist I would recommend for anybody, any pianist coming up, especially in this city. Professor Longhair, Dr. John, Alan Toussaint, those guys, just put them in your repertoire, for sure. Great guys. I think I'm gonna play a couple more songs for you guys and answer a few more questions. I think we'll be done here. This next one I wrote with a friend of mine named Sari, a phenomenal vocalist. She went to Tulane, and I remember the first time I met her, she was at a gig that I was playing at. And she came up to me and said, "Oh, I really liked your playing. I'm trying to go around and, you know, like sing around, and do you know any places? And I gave her a few places, I gave her a few names. That was about like 3 years ago, and now I feel like she's too busy all the time to answer any call. I mean, I am too, but like she can't look at her phone because she's so busy. She's a phenomenal vocalist. If you have the time to just search her up on Instagram, Sari Jordan is her name. She's phenomenal. Anytime that you see her name anywhere on any poster, go see her. But this song we kind of wrote together a while back. This one is called Past the Spire. Thank you. All right, and this last piece for you, I also wrote back at that. Actually, no. I think I wrote this song in my first apartment. Yeah, I wrote this song in my first apartment, and I had a 49 key MIDI keyboard, which for those that don't know, you have to hook those up to your laptop or computer, get some software that costs about $500, $600, and then it'll have a piano sound of which you can use that controller to play from the laptop. And as I was trying to, grow and, find my place in the city for a good bit, I would always, go back to my apartment when I can and just, fiddle around as I always have. And I came up with this little curious sounding abstract jazz piece I call The Curious Kid. Funny enough. Thank you guys for hanging around, asking questions and everything. Ooh, good question. I actually play with a wedding band a couple of nights tonight, or not tonight, Friday and Saturday night. But just wear a tux and bring some drumsticks, and I'll ring in. No, if you want to check out the next time I play, my Instagram is Vocal Outburst. I hope you find that funny. It's a little pun on my name. Of course, a shout is a vocal outburst. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram there. I have a few dumb posts on my main thing, but I try my best to put the shows that I'm playing a multitude of bands, so be prepared to see a lot of different band posts going around there in different places. But if you're in the city and you see me post about it, feel free to come through and say hi. But yeah, again, this is Curious Kid. Thank you guys for sticking around. Hope you guys enjoyed the music, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you guys very much.
Shao, thank you so much for your comments and for your music today. We really appreciate it. Thank you all for coming out to the beautiful New Orleans Jazz Museum. And on behalf of the National Park Service and the New Orleans Jazz National Historical Park, I hope you continue to enjoy our city. Check out the programming for both of our organizations. You can find our listings on our website and on Facebook. We both do lots of programming here in the French Quarter. I hope you all have a great day. And how about one more round of applause for Shout Young?